Hello everyone, I've been driving this truck around for a while. She's a 98 Chevy OBS, and there's one thing I just don't like about it. She's awfully big and these mirrors are awfully small. Also, I think they were supposed to be power, but this one acts like it's a manual, so I don't know. Maybe they've been replaced at some point. So we're going to replace these guys, which I actually like the style of, with a set of manual big tow mirrors. I went with the manual ones because they were cheaper. Okay, I learned on the first one, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to come up here with a screwdriver or a puller and just pop this guy out. Ideally, that would have came with it, but it'll be okay. You can kind of put this back together. It just slots on there. Take this piece of foam out, and then we've got 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. They're all 10 millimeter. You're going to need a small 10 millimeter wrench. If you had one of these with a ratchet head that could pivot, it'd be so much easier. Just going to take our open end, go down here, start getting these loose. Once you get a couple of rotations on there, they'll be finger loose. So I'd get the bottom 2 first, and then we can get the top and hold on to this. It shouldn't fall off. This one was pretty glued on there on the other side, so it might just stay. So after going like this to get down in there, getting it loose, and then this one up here kind of like that, all 3 are now finger loose, and we can be very careful about getting these out so we don't drop them in the door. Haha, make sure to leave a like. Honestly, this is the easiest one. I didn't film the other one because I didn't trust myself holding the camera. There we go. There's all 3 of them. Now we can grab onto this, kind of rock it. Got to break that seal. It's very stuck on there. Oh yeah, I think they used a little bit of glue on this. These are not the correct mirrors for this truck because, yeah, they drilled new holes for them. I do like the style of them. I will be keeping them in case I get something else, but they're just not the right fit for this truck. Okay, now we're getting a little confusing here. This says it's the right side, which is this is the right side. And this support bracket that goes in here and kind of clips on there. And this new stud, it screws into here. So we're going to need a pair of pliers, and we're just going to tighten that up. We remove these safety cones now, so those are exposed. But this says it's L, this says the mirror is R, and that had R and L. So I don't know, maybe they messed up on the stamping. But this one should go over here. So what we want to do is come over here, line this up with our holes. If you got the rain guard, it might hook underneath there, so watch it. But we're going to go with the factory ones that are painted. See, it will hook underneath this rain guard, so we need to kind of pull back on that. I might have to glue that in the future. And now it's underneath. Now you can see that we've got a long stud that this will go over like this, and then you put your nut on that. But we don't want to do that just yet. That'll brace this whole thing up. We want to try and get these down low started, because now you've got this big open spot to work with. Otherwise, you're going to have half of it covered up with that bracket. So this is going to get a little tricky. Otherwise, you can put the bracket in, which is what I did on the other side, and it was still very tricky, but doable. Now be careful with it, but you can leave that sit. It will catch on that rod. Just hooked one. Man, takes some doing, that's for sure. You gotta have long or small fingers to get down in there. We got one on. She started. One more to go. I think this one might be a little easier. I really had to stretch out there to get that one. Okay, number 2 started. I'm gonna tighten these down, then we'll get the top one. And to tighten them, just get them as tight as you can with your fingers. And then get in there and give her a few turns. Now would be the time to plug in your mirror, because we're about to cover up any chance of doing that. If your wire happens to be missing, it could be down in the door. And if you have a mirror with extra lights like a turn signal, you're going to need a different video. I'm sorry. This one doesn't even have the power bit. They're totally manual mirrors. So what you want to do is throw the support on. The tab goes over. It'll be underneath this. It kind of lines up with that. And then we put our nut on and tighten her down. And we're just about done here. Now that we got that in place, all tightened down, we can stuff our foam back in here. It's not going to be perfect, but you can't really stuff it in before you do all this because you'd never get those bolts tightened. Something like that, you know, get it kind of dispersed in there. Now you're probably wondering about this guy. It just kind of slots down in there, and that can click over that white head there. So it should just go something like this. There we go. That's on there pretty decent. All right, it just kind of slips over and in. And now we officially have tow mirrors. Was it worth doing it this way instead of taking the whole door panel off? That requires removing this. There's screws in here. There's a bunch of plastic clips like that you gotta take off. I don't know. It's gonna be tight up here regardless. You are gonna gain this little ledge worth of room to work, but it's still going to be a tight fit. So it's up to you whether you want to do it like that. It would be a lot easier if you had a number 10 with like a ratchet head that could pivot, that you could get down in there, and still got to be careful not to lose your nuts. And we've got a couple left over, yay. But I tried a few other things, you know, swivel and screwdriver style, and nothing else really worked. That number 10 did it the best. So now that we have these in, I need to adjust that one. I've got this one kind of where I like it. I can see straight out the back, and I can see where my rear wheels are. You can also slide these out like that. And we can go full moose, just like a Dodge. So I don't know if this is helpful or hurtful, but hurtful to me a little bit. This took longer than I thought it would, just trying to make a video out of it. So leave a like, hit subscribe. I will see you in the next one. There'll be more to come on this truck as we go through and do things. Oh yeah, you can fold these in as well if you need to park somewhere tight. Yeah, because that's going to save you on a parking spot. It still sticks. I guess it brings it in closer than the bump out, just a little bit. Not much. Even with this in, it's still way out there. So, but the interesting thing is the width of these is the exact same width as those. So they both came out to here. I will be keeping these. I like the design. I might put them on something else, but they just do not belong on a truck of this size. So leave a like, hit subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Have yourselves a great day.